Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to be looking at the Mattel WWE Elite Wrestlemania Build-A-Figure Paul Ellering wave. This wave contains Goldberg, Edge, Chyna, and Shawn Michaels. Get all four of them, and you can build a figure, collect and connect Paul Ellering. You get both his younger and older face, and you've got his dummy Rocco. He is the main reason I got this wave. So let's check out the figures. First of all, we've got Goldberg here. Looks pretty good. He has alternate hands. He's got the Build-A-Figure head. He's got a belt. Goatee looking pretty good. Goldberg on the back here. Got some stats on him. Got the rest of the wave, but the Build-A-Figure is the main reason I got these. Next, we have Edge. He's got a baseball bat, some alternate hands. Looks like he's got Paul's head and torso. Then we have Chyna. She comes with Rocco, one of the best parts. She also has a couple alternate hands and a belt. Then we have Shawn Michaels, a couple alternate hands. Looks like Paul's legs there. Looking excellent. So with no further ado, let's open them up. Alright, now that we got these figures out of the package, here they are with all their accessories laid out. This wave includes Goldberg, Edge, Shawn Michaels, and Chyna. If you buy all four of these figures, you get to assemble Paul Ellering. This is the first time they've made a figure of him. And there's more. You also get Rocco, his ventriloquist dummy. So in this video, we'll check out each of the figures individually. We'll check out their accessories, their height, their articulation. We'll compare them with other figures of the same wrestlers. So let's start off with Goldberg. So here's Goldberg. He comes with two alternate hands, totaling 4 interchangeable hands, a wrestling championship belt, and the head of Paul Ellering, and that's the younger head. So Goldberg made his wrestling debut in 1997, and he was very popular in WCW. He eventually signed on with WWE in 2003, and then after a 12-year hiatus, he came back. So let's check out the actual figure. So I will say, I think his face sculpt looks really good. He's got that signature goatee, and it looks pretty nice. His body sculpt is pretty nice. I typically steer away from wrestling figures that have no clothes on, as I can't really use them in my overall action figure world. But as I got Chyna and Edge, I had half of Paul complete, and he was really the main one I wanted in this wave. Looks like single jointed elbows, double jointed knees. Got some knee pads, some elbow pads. Overall, it looks pretty good. He's got a bunch of chest hair. His abs look pretty nice. Overall, a pretty good looking Goldberg, but not the type of figure I usually get. And then, here's the figure broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out his accessories. So first of all, he does come with the head of a younger version of Paul Ellering. He still has hair at this point. He's got his signature goatee. Now, if you don't want to get Goldberg and you only want the modern Paul Ellering, you can pass this guy, as he only comes with a younger head. There is an older head as well. And now, let's check out his hands. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are some semi-open, larger gripping hands. Looks like they could grab or choke somebody. And then, with his next pair of hands, these are some gripping hands with a smaller grip. Now let's look at his wrestling belt. This thing is blue. It's got some nice gold on the front. It looks pretty nice. Here he is, wearing his championship belt around his waist. And here, wearing it around his shoulder. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. From bottom to top, he's sitting at about 6.9 inches tall, which is going to translate to about 17.5 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. Start with his head here. Of course, it can rotate from side to side. You can look up and down about that much. Shoulders on a ball joint, it can go at about 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got a bicep cut below that. Single jointed elbows below that. You get about a 90-degree bend there. His wrists can rotate, and it's hinged as well. He's got an ab crunch in the middle here. Traditional waist swivel below that. Legs on ball joints, I think about this far. Go forward, about that far. Back, not really at all. He's got a thigh cut. Double jointed knees, go back about that far. He's got rotation at the top of the boot. And then his ankles here, then go back way far, forward about that far, and then they can tilt and rock a little bit. And this would be the part that normally I would compare him to some other Goldberg figures, but I don't actually have any other Goldberg figures. Typically, my rules are no close equals no buy, so I normally wouldn't have got this guy, except I wanted to get all the pieces of Paul Ellering. There is one Goldberg figure from Jakks Pacific that's in, I think, jeans and a t-shirt. Wouldn't mind having that one, but I definitely prefer the Mattel figures to the old Jakks figures. Now let's check on Edge. He comes with 2 alternate hands, totaling 4 interchangeable hands, a baseball bat, and then the older head and torso of Paul Ellering. So Edge made his wrestling debut in 1992. He started working for the WWF in 96, and he officially signed to them in 97. So let's check out the figure. As you can see, he's got those intense eyes, long hair, it's got some nice detail in there, several different shades of blonde. Looks like he has a removable vest, tattoo in his shoulder, looks like single jointed elbows, double jointed knees, kind of some camo pants, looking pretty good. This guy should be good to double up as both the Edge and a thug in my overall action figure world. He looks pretty good so far. And then, here he is, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out his accessories. First of all, he does come with the head and torso of Paul Ellering. As you can see, this is the older version. He's bald, he has this gray goatee. Then you've also got the torso here. It's got a sports coat, a black shirt underneath, and you can double it up to make the young or older version of Paul. Now, let's take a look at his hands. Here he is with his first pair of hands. Looks like he's rocking some devil ears. And here he is with his next hands. These are some semi-open gripping hands. Now let's look at his baseball bat. Mine appears to be a little bit warped. I'll see if some hot water can fix that. It does have some nice sculpting detail on it, simulating wood. I went ahead and dipped his baseball bat into some boiling hot water, and it strained it up no problem. Here he is, holding his baseball bat. He can hold it with either one hand, or with 2 hands. Now let's look at his vest. This is made of a soft, bendy, rubbery material. You can easily take it on and off. Overall, pretty basic black vest. Here he is without the vest on. And here he is with the vest on. Now let's check out his height. From bottom to top, he's sitting at about 6.9 inches tall, which is going to translate to about 17.5 centimeters. And now, let's look at his articulation. Starting with his head here, it can rotate from side to side. His hair is soft, can get over his shoulders pretty nicely. Can look up and down about that much. Shoulders on a ball joint go out about 90 degrees, up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got a bicep cut below that. Single jointed elbows below that. His wrists can rotate and it's hinged as well. He's got an ab crunch in the middle here, go forward and back. Traditional waist swivel below that. Legs on ball joints, then go out about this far. Forward, that far, back, not really at all. He's got a thigh cut below that. Double jointed knees below that. Then his ankles here, then go up and down just a little bit, kind of obstructed from the pants, and they can tilt and rock as well. A little bit of rotation. Here he is, next to the only other Edge figure that I have. Now let's check out Shawn Michaels, aka the Heartbreak Kid. He comes with 2 alternate hands, totaling 4 interchangeable hands, some removable sunglasses, a removable jacket, and then he has the legs of Paul Ellering. Now, Shawn Michaels made his wrestling debut in 1984. He signed on with WWF in 1987. He's retired like 5 different times. So let's go ahead and check out the figure. As you can see, he's got his signature long hair. Looks good. It's brown at the top, some blonde at the edges. He's got his cool looking sunglasses, the long earrings. He's got his jacket with all that stuff hanging off, crosses everywhere. You can see his chest and stomach hair below that. The sculpt is pretty nice. His pants are black and white. The jacket is made of that rubbery material that doesn't really let you move his arms very well. I've never been fond of this on the wrestling figures. I'm assuming he's got single jointed elbows under here, double jointed knees here. Overall, not too bad. I wouldn't have bought him if I didn't want the Paul Ellering. And then, here he is broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out his accessories. First off, he does come with Paul Ellering's legs. Looking forward to putting this guy together. And now, let's check out his hands. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. And then, his next pair of hands. These are his gripping hands. Now let's look at his sunglasses. These are pretty small. Complete perfect circles on the front. They're going to tuck into his hair in little slots there. Here he is without his sunglasses on. Like I said before, they sort of tuck into some little slots in his hair, but it makes it look pretty bad without them on. And here he is wearing the sunglasses. Now let's check out his jacket. It's made of a rubbery, soft material, but still not going to allow his arms to bend while he's wearing it. Like I said before, something that's always annoyed me about this type of wrestling jacket accessories. You can see all the different crosses hanging off it, both on the front and on the back. It's a decent accessory for what it is. Here he is without the jacket, and then with the jacket on. Now check out his height. From bottom to top, he's sitting at about 6.75 inches tall, which is going to translate to about 17 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. If you don't remove his jacket, his articulation is going to be severely hindered. So start with his head here. It can rotate from side to side. His hair is soft enough to get over his shoulders. You can look up and down about that much. Shoulders on a ball joint, then go out about 90 degrees, up, down, around. He's got a bicep cut below that. Single jointed elbows. His wrist can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. He's got an ab crunch in the middle. Traditional waist swivel below that. His legs are on ball joints. Then go out pretty far. Then go forward about that much. Back, not really at all. It's got a thigh cut below that. Double jointed knees below that. He's got a rotation cut at the boot. And then his ankles, they can go forward and back about that far. And they can tilt and rock as well. Here he is, next to the other Shawn Michaels figures that I have. The one on the left is from Jakks Pacific, and the one on the right is from Mattel. And here he is with his couch from the Heartbreak Hotel. Now let's look at Chyna. She comes with 2 alternate hands, totaling 4 interchangeable hands. She has a women's championship wrestling belt. She also comes with the 2 arms of Paul Ellering, as well as his dummy, Rocco. Chyna did make her wrestling debut in 1995. She signed on with WWF in 1997, and she passed away in 2016. Rest in peace. So let's check her out. Her hair is big, it's curly, looks pretty good. She's got that kind of awkward looking smile on the figure. She's got a headband and a collar under there. She's a 2-piece purple outfit. Looks like single jointed elbows, double jointed knees. Overall, she's looking pretty good. Face a little bit awkward with that smile. And here she is, broken down as far as she can go, with all of her removable parts detached. Now let's check out her accessories. So first of all, she does come with both arms of Paul Ellering. And she also comes with his dummy, Rocco. And I didn't even know she was going to come with a Collect and Connect figure. I bought her because I pretty much get all the female wrestling figures. And she came with this crazy dummy that I didn't even know existed. And a Collect and Connect suited figure. I love suited figures, so I had to complete the wave. Rocco here looks pretty cool. A couple paint chips on his hair, that's pretty annoying. He's got 1 point of articulation in his neck. Leather jacket, very cool. There's a place you can shove a figure's hand in there and you hold him as a ventriloquist and a dummy. So now, let's check out her hands. Here she is with her first pair of hands. These are her fists. And then, her next pair of hands. These are her gripping hands. Now let's look at her belt. It's black. It's got gold on the front. It says World Wrestling Entertainment Women's Champion. Here she is, wearing the belt around her waist, and then wearing it over her shoulder. Now let's check out her height. From bottom to top, she's sitting at about 6.75 inches tall, which is going to translate to about 17 centimeters. Now let's check out her articulation. Starting with her head here, of course, it can rotate from side to side. Her hair is soft enough to get over her shoulders. She can look up and down this much. Shoulders on a ball joint can go out about 90 degrees, up, down, around. Got a bicep cut below that. Single jointed elbows below that. Her wrists can rotate and it's hinged as well. She's got a ball joint or torso, rotate from side to side this much, and go forward and back quite a bit. Traditional waist swivel below that. Legs on ball joints, they can only go out about this far. A little bit disappointing there. Then go forward that far. Back, not really at all. Double jointed knees below that. Got rotation at the top of the boot. And then her ankles here, they go back about that far, forward about that far, and they can tilt and rock a little bit as well. Here she is, next to the other Chyna figures that I have. On the left, we've got an old, crappy Jakks Pacific Chyna figure. This one here is from the Elite 2-pack with Triple H. And this one here is a custom Chyna figure. I got this on eBay for about $12. I figured, why not? Now let's check out Paul Ellering. Here are all the pieces broken down. We've got the younger head that came with Goldberg, the older head and torso that came with Edge, the legs that came with Shawn Michaels, and then the arms and his dummy that came with Chyna. So Paul Ellering made his wrestling debut in 1977. He started out as a wrestler and then became a manager. He's supposed to be one of the best managers of all time. He signed on with the WWF in 1992. Here he is fully assembled. This has his younger head. I'm going to assume this is from 1992 when he had Rocco. He's in a completely black outfit. Black hair at the time, got his goatee, got a black shirt under his black sports jacket, and then we got some black slacks and black shoes. And here's his older head. Looks considerably different. I love the fact they gave us both display options for this guy. This is how he looks in the modern times. He's most notably known for managing the Road Warriors and the Authors of Pain. Besides his two different heads, he also comes with Rocco, the dummy. As I understand it, Paul Ellering was a terrible ventriloquist. They always had to cut him out when he was talking as Rocco, not show him at the same time. Rocco here was a gimmick they used in 1992. I guess it didn't go over very well, as they abandoned it. When he was managing the Road Warriors, they wanted them to appeal to children more, so they added Rocco for that purpose. And as I understand it, everyone pretty much hated Rocco the dummy. Paul Ellering said they could have done so much more with it. The Road Warriors said they absolutely hated that guy, and I almost feel like they intentionally lost him at an airport to get rid of him. So, his hair has a couple of paint scratches, and that's pretty annoying. He does have 1 point of articulation in his head. It can rotate from side to side. He's in a leather jacket here. He's got some gold shoulder pads with spikes on it. Going further down, looks like some blue jeans and some black and white tennis shoes. He does have an area on the back you can shove an action figure's hand in to hold him, as a ventriloquist would do. I think it's a very cool action figure, and I like the fact they gave us Rocco from way back in 1982, and you also have the modern Paul Ellering. Here's the younger version of Paul, holding Rocco. Hand fits into the back pretty nicely. It looks pretty cool. You don't get a lot of action figures that are ventriloquists with dummies. Rocco here is a little bit too heavy for Paul's arm. It's constantly falling down, but you can use his other arm to sort of hold and support Rocco. Here's Rocco next to some other wrestling puppets. These are some various characters from Bray Wyatt's Firefly Funhouse. Here he is next to several other ventriloquist and dummy action figures. These are all a Batman villain named Scarface and the ventriloquist. Now let's check out his height. He's sitting at about 6.6 inches tall, which is going to translate to a little bit under 17 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. Start with his head. Of course, it can rotate from side to side. You can look up and down about that much. Shoulders on a ball joint. You can go out about this far, up, down, around. It's got a bicep cut below that. Single jointed elbows. His wrists can rotate, and it's hinged as well. Don't think he has an ab crunch in here. Kind of hard to tell with the jacket in the way, but it doesn't seem like it has any give motion. Does a waist swivel below that. Legs go out about this far. Not a ball joint, but a similar type idea. Go forward about that far, and back about that far. He's got a thigh cut, double jointed knees. And then his ankle here, you can go up and down just a little bit. The pants obstruct that. It can rotate, and it can tilt and rock as well. Now, they haven't actually made any other Paul Ellering figures, but here's a custom Paul figure I bought on eBay a while ago. I actually got this from the same guy I got that Chyna figure from. I got the two of them for about $22, including shipping, so I figured, why not? I actually used this as just sort of a generic guy in a suit, but it was definitely cheap enough. Now I would love to show this Paul figure with the Road Warriors, but I don't have any figures of them, as I don't know what else I could possibly use them for in my overall action figure world. And here he is, next to a few different versions of the Authors of Pain, one of his more recent tag teams that he managed. So overall, it's a pretty cool wrestling wave. I must say, I'm very fond of Paul Ellering and Rocco the dummy. I really like kind of unusual and weird action figures, and that's right up my alley. I also really like suited and regular clothes civilian action figures, and Paul is definitely one of those. So overall, I put these figures from my favorite to my least favorite, starting with Paul, and then Edge. He's going to make for a great thug. Chyna, I love women wrestling figures. I think they're pretty fun, pretty cool. I don't have a lot of love for Shawn Michaels or Goldberg, as I can't really do much with them in my overall action figure world, but they're still pretty good looking figures. So it's D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.